Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Dear grade 10 students, welcome at Oman Live channel. Welcome at our educational program. Today, inshallah, we are going to continue semester number 2 and we continue unit number 2, which is about healthy lifestyle. As you know that in the previous lesson, we talked about healthy lifestyle and we know about what are the habits and what are the important vocabulary that are related to healthy lifestyle. We focused on reading and understanding, and today inshallah we are going to focus on grammar and vocabulary. So let's start our lesson today. So as you can see in the screen that we are going to focus on grammar and vocabulary, and we will focus on WH questions and yes no questions. Also we are going to focus on vocabulary, and we will take something called a collocation. So the first thing that we should focus on is the learning outcomes. So what are you going to learn in this lesson, inshallah? So first of all, you are going to identify two main types of questions. Number two, you are going to form yes-no questions and WH questions, and what is the correct formation for them. Number three, you are going to correct errors in questions. You will have some questions which are wrong, and you are going to correct them. Then you are going to write questions about a text. Then you are going to form and use collocations related to feeling unwell. So it is very good to focus on the target language that we are going to cover in this lesson. So these are the target language. The first one is a cough. We are going to know what is the meaning of a cough. Then dizzy. What does it mean to feel dizzy? Then a fever or a high temperature. Then a headache. Okay. A runny nose, sick, a sore throat, and the last one is a stomach ache. So these are some problems or some things when you feel unwell. We are going to cover them inshallah during this lesson. So let's start with the class book, please, page 18. So please open your class book, page 18, guys. Look at activity 1. This activity will be as a warm-up activity, and here we have 8 questions. And what should we know about this? We should know the meaning or the answer for each question. Let's read these questions together. You are going to listen to each question and the answer. So please write the answers in your exercise books. Now let's read these questions together. Number 1. What is the heaviest part in the human body? What is the heaviest part of the human body? Okay, number 2. What causes dehydration? We say dehydration when the level of water drops below its normal level in our bodies. So this is called dehydration. Number 3, can humans breathe and swallow at the same time? So can we breathe and swallow at the same time? Number 4, what is the average speed of a sneeze? When someone sneezes, what is the average speed for sneezing? Number 5, which part of the human body contains the 25% of our bones? Okay. Then number 6, do right-handed people live longer than left-handed people? Okay. And number 7, is lack of exercise as dangerous as smoking? And number 8, how many hours sleep per night do grade 10 students need? So now let's listen together and please write the answers on your exercise books.
Listening 2.2.
1. The heaviest part of the human body is the skin. 2. Not drinking enough water causes dehydration. 3. No. 4. The average speed of a sneeze is 150 kilometers per hour. 5. Our feet contain 25% of our bones. 6. Yes. 7. Yes. 8. Grade 10 students need 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night.
Okay, so here are the answers. For number 1, the heaviest part of the human body is the skin. Number 2, look at question number 2. What causes dehydration? So the answer is not drinking enough water causes dehydration. Look at question number 3. Can humans? So the answer is no. Number 4. What is the average? So look at the answer. The average speed of a sneeze is 150 kilometers per hour. And number 5. Which part of the human body? Look at the answer. Our feet. Okay, number 6. Do a right-handed people do? Look at the answer. Yes. Is a lack of exercise? Look at the answer. They said yes. And number 8, how many hours? And the answer is need 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night. Now the question said, what do you notice about the answers to questions 3, 6, and 7? 3, 6, and 7. And what do you notice about the other answers? So let's go back to 3, 6, and 7. 3, 6, and 7. Number 3, number 6, and 7. So the answer is yes or no, while the others questions are open questions and they have full answer, while 3, 6, and 7, the answers were with yes or no. So this is an introduction for our lesson today. We will know how to form yes/no questions and how to form WH questions. So please guys, do go to your class books page 18. Look at the grammar focus and the title is forming questions. How can we form questions? Now we have in this books we have 2 main types of questions. What are the 2 main types of questions? Yes/no questions and WH questions. Now let's start with the yes/no questions. These questions can be answered either yes or no from its name. Yes or no. So the answer should be yes or no. Let's read some examples. Are you going to school? You can answer with yes or no. Can I help you? You can say yes or no. Have you got a pen? You can answer with yes or no. Do you like pizza? So this is also can be answered with yes or no. Now, how can I form a correct question, a correct yes/no question? So we should start with auxiliary verb like are, have, and do, plus the subject. And the subject in the examples, the first one is you, the second one is I, the third one is you, and the fourth one also is you. Then the main verb in number 1 is going, the main verb in number 2 or the second example is help, and the third one got, and like in the fourth one. Auxiliary, what is the meaning of auxiliary verb? Auxiliary verbs are be, do, or have, but also you can use modal auxiliaries like can, could, should, shall, will, and would. So these are the auxiliary verbs and the modal auxiliaries. We should put them at the beginning, then we should follow them by a subject, then the main verb. Look at the note down. It is said it is also possible to form questions using the verb be without another verb. So when we say, is it hot? So we just use the auxiliary verb. And are you okay? So this is verb be without any other verb. So this is how to form yes no question. So again, we can start with auxiliary verb or modal auxiliaries. Then we should follow them by subject and then the main verb. Now let's go to the second type of questions, which is WH questions. Now these questions begin with a WH question word. Any WH word or question word like what, when, where, who, and why. Look at the beginning of these words. They start with what? With WH letters. WH in what, WH in when, in where, and who, and why. They start with WH, and that's why they are called WH question. Now, these questions cannot be answered by yes or no. So if someone asks you, what are you doing? Can you say yes or no? No. You cannot answer by this answer. What are you doing? For example, you can say, I am writing, or I am playing, or I am walking, or I am explaining, or I am teaching. Okay. Now, the second example. When are you, or when are we going home? Someone is asking when. At which time? Then, who is he? He's asking about a person. Who is he? Can we answer with yes or no? It is not correct. Now, the fourth one. Why didn't you do your homework? Why didn't you do? So, what is the reason that you didn't do your homework? So, these questions are usually formed by what? WH word like what, when, who, and why. Then the auxiliary verb. After that, we should put the subject and then the main verb. So again, we have two main types of questions, yes no questions and WH questions. How can I form yes no question? By auxiliary verb or modal auxiliaries plus subject plus main verb. The WH question, how can I form it? I form it with the WH word first, then the auxiliary verb, and then the subject, and then the main verb. So the difference here is that you put the WH question word in the WH question when you form WH question, and it is the same like yes no question. Just the difference is that you add at the beginning the WH word. Now let's test you in forming the questions, and let's play this game in the word wall. Scan this QR code and play this game. How to form questions. So now he is asking you, look at the screen, and we have two categories, yes no questions and WH questions. Now, what are you doing? This is WH because it starts with WH question word. Do you like pizza? Yes or no? Okay. Can I help you? This is also yes or no question. Who is he? He is asking about a person, who, and start with WH. Why didn't you do homework? This is also WH question. Okay. Are you going to school? Yes or no? When are we going home? This is WH question. And have you got a pen? This is a yes no question. So this is some examples of yes or yes no questions or WH questions. So now let's go back to our lesson and let's move to the skills book page 14. So please open your skills book page 14, guys. Let's do activity number 1. In activity number 1, he said read and complete. Now let's complete these questions with some words. Complete the questions with the missing word. Then ask your and answer your question with a partner. So you can do this one in your classes. So in number 1, he said you like exercising. So what is missing here? Should we say one of yes no questions, or should we write WH word here? In number 2, we have space, kind of exercise do you like? Kind of exercise do you like? Then number 3, do you enough water? What is missing here? Number 4, you run for 1 kilometer. Number 5, how healthy, you have space, your diet. And number 6, do, you have space, ever feel stressed? So now let's do these together and then we will check our answers. So the first one, what is missing here? Can we put an auxiliary verb or WH question or WH question word? So number 1, do you like exercising? Can we say what you like exercising? No. So we should use one of the auxiliary verbs and the best one is do. Number 2, we have kind of exercise you like, do you like? So we should use what? One of the WH questions words and the best one is what. Number 3, do you, here it is possible to have 3 answers, whether to say do you drink enough water, or do you have enough water, or do you get enough water. So the missing here is the main verb. Number 4, we should use can here. Can you run for 1 kilometer? And the answer should be yes or no. Now number 5, how healthy is your diet? How healthy is your diet? And the last one, do, and what is missing here is the subject. Do you ever feel stressed? So this is how we form yes no questions and give you some examples, and then you completed these questions with the missing words. Now let's move to the second question, which is finding the errors in these questions. The question said, read and correct. Read the questions below, find the errors or the mistakes in the questions and correct them. And you should rewrite each questions in the space provided. Now let's read these questions which have mistakes or errors. Number 1, how many hours you sleep? How many hours? What is missing here? Number 2, You are healthy. You are healthy. Is this a correct question? No. Number 3. How you are feeling? How you are feeling? Is this a correct question? Definitely no. Number 4. You eat for breakfast what? Okay. And number 5. You like sport. You like sport. So now let's correct each one by one. So in number 1, what is missing here? It is the main one of the auxiliary verbs which is missing. It is how many hours do you sleep? So when we want to use WH question correctly, we should start with WH word, then we have auxiliary verb, then the subject, and then the main verb. So the missing verb is here the auxiliary verb. In number 2, are you healthy? So just switching between you and are. Are you healthy? Number 3, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? So also change or exchange between are and you. And number 4, what do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for breakfast? And the last one, do you like sport? Do you like sport? So this is how we correct the questions. So here we have correct questions. Number 1, how many hours do you sleep? And number 2, are you healthy? Number 3, how are you feeling? And number 4, what do you eat for breakfast? And number 5, do you like sport? Okay. Here guys, in activity number 3, you have a text about happiness. A text about happiness. And the question said, read the text about happiness below, then write 3 questions about the text to ask your partner. So you can read this one at home guys, and just we want to form some questions about the text or about this topic, which is happiness, and the answer should be in this text. So I suggested how does feeling happy affect your health? This is one of the WH questions. And number 2, which is the happiest country in the world in 2019? And the third one, what can you do to improve your mood? What can you do to improve your mood? These are 3 suggested questions. You can add more and you can change these questions as you read the information in this text. Now guys, let's move to forming the WH questions. Now let's test yourself in live worksheet website. So let's together guys form some questions together. So when you close, okay. So in this question, he wants you to correct or put these words in the correct order in order to form a correct question. So if we start with the first one, what you play and do, how can we form a correct question? So we should start with the WH question, and what comes after the WH, we said that one of the auxiliary verbs, then we have the subject and then the main verb. So it is, what do you play? What do you play? Okay. Number 2, do you or do work when they. So we should start with WH question, then one of the auxiliary verbs, and then the subject and the main verb. Then number 3, study, does, where, and she. Now how can we form a correct WH question? So we should start with where, then the auxiliary verb, and then the subject, and at the end we should write what? The main verb. Okay, now let's move to number 4. We have play, tennis, does, why, and she. So we should put the WH question first, and then the auxiliary verb, and after that we should write the subject and the main verb and complete the sentence or the question. So the question will be, why does she play tennis? Why does she play tennis? Then number 5, we have do, eat, what, and you. And we want to form a WH question, so we should start with what, then the auxiliary verb, and after that we have the subject, and at the end we should write the main verb. In number 6, we have does, work, when, and she. So we want to form a WH question, so we should start with when, and then the auxiliary verb, and after that we have the subject, and at the end we have the main verb. And the same thing with number 7, why, then the auxiliary verb do, and then the subject we, and the main verb, which is rest. The last one, we have does, right, when, and he. So we should start with when, and then the auxiliary verb does, the subject he, and the main verb, which is right. And you can press finish and check your answers. Are your answers correct or not? We have got all of them correctly. So this is you can do at home also, guys. Okay, now let's move to the lesson again. Let's go back to our lesson, and in this one we are going to take activity number 3 in your class books. So look at this question. He said read and match. So we have done with the forming yes no question and WH questions. So now we are going to move to the vocabulary section. So this is the first question in the vocabulary section, which is read and match. So label the pictures using the words in the books. So let's see these pictures. We have how many pictures? We have 8 pictures. Look at these people. They are suffering from several problems. Now, what are their problems? The first one. Now, let's read the words down in the yellow box. A sore throat. Then we have a cough. Then we have dizzy. Now, who is suffering from headache? And who is suffering from a runny nose? Who is suffering from a stomach ache? And who is suffering from a fever or high temperature? And the last one, who is or which picture shows that this person is sick? So now let's play a game together, guys, in order to match and label these pictures using the words. So let's go to the word wall and play this game together. And let's label. Now look at the first one, which is headache. Now who is suffering from headache? Let's see. So this lady is putting her hand on her head. So I think she is suffering from headache. Now, who is dizzy? Feeling that something is moving, dizzy. Look at this lady. She is feeling dizzy. And sore throat, something, a problem in your throat. Look at this person. He is putting his hand on his throat. Then, who is suffering from high temperature? Look at this little lady. I think she is suffering from fever or high temperature. And a runny nose. Look at this person. He is putting, I think, tissue and covering his nose. And we have cough. Which one is suffering from cough or have got a cough? And the last one is this lady. She is putting her hand on her stomach. I think, sick. This is sick. And stomach ache. Look at this lady. She is putting her hand on her stomach. So I think she is suffering from stomach ache. So let's see our answers and check. So alhamdulillah, all of them are correct. So now let's go back to our lesson and let's see the correct answers together. Okay, so the first one, as we said, this lady is this lady has got a cough, and this lady also has got a stomach ache. This lady is feeling dizzy, and this person has got a runny nose, and this lady or little lady has got a fever, and this is feeling sick. This one is having, or this person has a sore throat, and this lady has got a headache. Okay, now let's move, guys, to another question, which is in your skills book, page 15. And look at the question. Listen and circle. We have 3 people. We have Mark, Jane, and Paul. Now, what should we do here? Let's read the question together. Mark, Jane, and Paul are sick. Listen to them describing how they feel. Now, draw a circle on the parts of their body where they feel a problem. So let's listen and draw a circle around the place that they feel that they have a problem there.
Listening 2.3.
I've got a really bad cough and pain in my chest.
I am feeling sick and dizzy. I've got a bad headache too.
I've got a stomach ache. I also feel very hot, so I think I've got a fever as well.
So here they said, the first one, or Mark said that I have a chest problem, and Jane said I feel dizzy, and Paul said that I have a stomach ache. So just circle the place that they feel they have a problem in. Okay, now let's move, guys, to something called collocation. So please open your class books and look at this page. The title here said is collocation. Okay, now what is the meaning of collocation? Let's read together. Collocations are words that are commonly used together. So words that they come together, we call them collocation. So when we are talking about our health and being sick, we often use have got and feel. We use, when we want to talk about our health and being sick, we use two words, have got and feel. Look at these examples. I have got a headache. She has got a fever. Then with feel, I feel tired and he feels hot. Now, when we collocate have got, what comes after have got? Look at the two examples with have got. I have got a headache and I have got a fever. Now, what comes after have got? Do we have adjective or nouns? Headache and fever. These are nouns. Okay, and also with feel. I feel tired and he feels hot. So tired and hot are what? Are adjectives. So after have got we should write nouns, and after feel we should write adjectives. Okay. So this is the meaning of collocation, and as we said, after have got we should write nouns, and after feel we should write adjectives. Now question number 2, he said complete the spidergram with words from activity number 3 on page 19 of the class book. Then think of 2 or more words that comes with have got and feel. So let's take have got. We say we have got sore throat and we have got cough. Also, when we want to talk about our health, we can say we have got stomach ache, and we can say we have got a runny nose. What about feel? We feel sick, we feel unwell, we feel dizzy, and we feel nauseous. So after have got we should write a noun, and after feel we should write adjectives. Now let's move, guys, to the skills book, page 20, and this is a review. He wants you to complete these sentences with feel or have got. Feel or have got. Now number 1, what should we say? I and then dizzy. Is dizzy a noun or a verb? This is a noun or an adjective. This is an adjective, so we should use feel. Number 2, she has got a fever. Number 3, do you have any other symptoms? And number 4, take 1 tablet a day. Number 5, where does it hurt? And number 6, it started 2 days ago. And the last one, I feel. Then you can feel dizzy, you can use any other adjective. Okay, then the last thing is I want you to test yourself whether to use feel or have got. So now let's play this game together, guys. So what should you use with feel and have got? A cold, this is noun, so we should put it with have got. Unwell, this is an adjective. With feel, we should use the adjective. Okay, a headache, this is a noun, so we should use it with have got. Then dizzy, this is an adjective, so we should use it after feel. Then a flu, so we should use it after have got a flu. And sick, I feel sick. And nauseous, also feel, and a cough with have got. So this is the answers. So you should focus on after feel we should put an adjective, and after have got we should use nouns. So in this lesson, this is the end of our lesson. We have covered 2 things, which are how to form yes no questions and WH questions, and we know that with yes no questions we start with auxiliary verb or modal auxiliaries, then we should follow them by the subject and then the main verb. And with WH questions we should just add a WH question, and then we have the auxiliary verb, then the subject, and then the main verb. Then we move to the collocations, and with collocation it means that words that comes together, and when we want to speak about our health we can use feel and have got, and we should use after feel adjectives, and after have got we should use nouns. This is the end of our lesson today. Thank you for listening and see you inshallah in the coming lessons.